Hi, I'm Jesse.
Hi, I'm Howard.
Together we are
Bonded for life. Today, everybody, we are going to give you the 6 signs that you are in a toxic relationship.
And a toxic relationship is not a healthy relationship at all. You might be the person who's a victim of somebody being the toxic person in your relationship, or you might be the one who's committing all the toxicity.
Either way, you will find out today on this episode. Now, quick disclaimer, we are not professionals, we are not psychiatrists, we are not therapists. We are just Jesse and Howard. This is our show, Bonded for Life, and this video is only for entertainment purposes. With that said, let's get to number 1.
What is number 1, pray tell?
Number 1 sign that you are in a toxic relationship is if your significant other, whoever that you have a relationship with, is a narcissist. One that only looks out for him or herself.
We're talking somebody who's all about me. So everything evolves around that person.
Right, and it's just about what it is that they can get from the relationship. Disregarding your feelings, your emotions, whatever. They will make up stories, make up lies, make up excuses, anything that they can do to get what they want. That is
for their
it.
sole benefit.
That is it. Now, if you recognize any of these traits, then you may have a narcissist in your hands.
Number 2 is somebody who is a manipulative person. Sounds very similar to the narcissist. A manipulator can be anyone, and it doesn't have to be somebody who's always about themselves. The manipulator in a relationship is someone who will try to make you feel a certain way in order to get what they want.
Right, so they can make you feel guilty. They can push you into something that you don't want to do. They can just make you feel like you are wrong in some ways. They are similar to a narcissist.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, they just want to also get something out of the deal without really caring about your feelings. So a manipulator and a narcissist can go hand in hand.
That's right. Let's give an example. Let's say you want to go out with your girlfriends. Your boyfriend or your spouse is at home and they're saying, if you go out, I'm going to feel so bad. You know I just lost my job and you're not going to be there for me. You just went out with your girlfriends last weekend. I need you to take care of my needs. That is somebody who's manipulative.
That's a very good one. Number 3 is a big one. It's 3 in 1. A physical abuser, a mental abuser, and a emotional abuser. Now, we all know what a physical abuser is. Someone that hits on you, that puts their hands on you.
And it doesn't matter if it's the first time or it's been several times. You know that you're in a toxic relationship. If you guys are getting physical, period, that is something that you don't want in your relationship.
Right, and then there's the mental and emotional abuser. Now that goes hand in hand because they can get into your head, making you feel like you are not worthy, you are not pretty, nobody wants you. Then you alienate yourself and then you feel a certain way. So you may feel insecure due to their words and the way they speak to you or the way they treat you. Somebody that always gets on you, insults you, yells at you, that's an emotional and a mental abuser. An example could be your boyfriend or your girlfriend always telling you you're fat, you're ugly, you're stupid, you're an idiot. Nobody cares about what you think. You know, you're nobody, you're a loser. You know, and then look at you. Why are you wearing that? Like everything that you do, they mess with your self-esteem, and then you just feel like, oh my God, like I'm so glad that I have them because if I don't have them, then I'm a complete loser. Nobody wants me.
Number 4 is a huge one. It is jealousy. And when you're in a relationship with somebody who's jealous, they don't want you to go do things because if you go hang out with your girlfriends, you might be flirting with somebody else or somebody else might find you attractive out there and they may become controlling in that situation. Jealousy is a very bad thing in any relationship.
I don't want to diagnose that individual, but a jealous person usually is an insecure person themselves. They got some kind of issue going on in their head and they feel like they're not worthy. So when they find somebody that loves them, they feel like they have to have that person only to themselves.
That's right.
And they're scared to lose that person.
Yeah, many people who have been cheated on in the past tend to believe that their partner is going to be a constant cheater because somebody else hurt them in the past. So they brought that baggage into this new relationship. And then we spiral out of control and we commit bad behaviors. Jealousy. Number 5 is somebody who is an addict of any sort. It could be drugs, it could be gambling. Now, that type of behavior can damage your personal life and it can damage their life as well.
Right. We're talking about the addiction that can affect you in a negative way. Your household, your emotions, your mental state.
Your
whatever.
finance.
Yeah, I mean, if you're addicted to working out, that's not a bad addiction.
It can't be if you're broken up all the time. You got all these body aches and stuff because you've been working out too much.
Or if you just live in a gym.
Now, if we're talking about somebody who's drinking constantly, somebody who's using hard drugs, somebody who is out there gambling in the casinos, and they're gambling your money away as well, that's not a good situation for anybody.
No, those kind of addictions is what we were talking about, not other kind of addictions.
Any kind of addiction can be bad for you.
I don't know. Addiction to reading?
Addiction to sex.
Ooh.
It could be a bad thing in your relationship, right?
That is a bad thing.
She might not want to put out as much as you want to put in.
On to the next one. Number 6, the final one, is emotional drainage. Now, we all have experienced emotional drainage. It doesn't matter who it was from. It could be a parent, it could be, a spouse, it could be a friend, whatever. You leave that person and you just feel drained. You just feel exhausted because they took most of your energy out.
Or you leave that person and you feel like a weight has been lifted off of you because you're not around that toxic person anymore.
Right, because they're always negative. They're always putting someone down. They're always judging somebody. They're always complaining. They're always just not happy. If you got a promotion per se at work, you're worried to tell that person because you feel like they're just going to rain on your parade,
You're right. And in a relationship of any sort, you want somebody who wants you to thrive. You want somebody who's happy about your successes in life.
Right. When it comes to your spouse or your girlfriend or your boyfriend, is when you come home, the first thing they do is yell at you or start an argument. You just dread coming home because you know there's an argument waiting for you behind those doors. That's emotional drainage.
Beware of the person who has that rainy cloud over their head at all times. That is the emotional draining person.
Now, these are the 6 signs, but of course, there's always solutions to everything in life.
That's right. There are. First and foremost, you need to reevaluate your situation, look at it from the inside and say, what is causing all of these things in my relationship? Is it me, myself, committing all of the toxic behavior, or is it my partner, my mother, my sibling doing these things that are making my life not a happy life?
Mm-hmm. And you also have to acknowledge your part in this relationship. How is it that you are allowing this toxicity to continue in your life? Can you possibly take a break, walk away? If you are the victim. If you're a toxic person, then say, why am I doing this? What is it that's triggering me to be toxic?
And it could be our upbringing at times. Past relationships that we bring toxic behaviors into new relationships because hurt people hurt people.
Mm-hmm. I was jealous once. That was my toxic. I was insecure once. It's fine. I was young. Things happen. I'm a human being. I'm not perfect. I make errors. And I have brought toxicity in our relationship. There were multiple times back then when Jesse would come home and I'm just looking for a fight. Anything would just trigger me because I wasn't happy. And I had to ask myself, why is it that I am acting this way? Because this is not the kind of person that I was before this. So what is it that brought insecurity and jealousy and anger into our relationship? And then I changed it.
Here's the other caveat to that. As partners, we can mirror the things that are happening to us because somebody's being toxic towards us. We might start being toxic. And it hasn't always been Howard who's brought toxic behaviors into our relationship. I've done things. I've kind of like verbally beat up on Howard at times, not intentionally. And then sometimes you just want to get back at people for some of the things that they've done to you before. Again, it goes back to hurt people hurt people. When you're in a toxic relationship, not only do we commit these behaviors, we condone some of these behaviors. So if we're in an abusive relationship or somebody's verbally abusive towards us, physically abusive towards us, if we stay in that toxic relationship, we are being a part of it. We're allowing that in our lives. Mm-hmm. The first step is acknowledge your part in it. Acknowledge the bad traits that you're bringing into the situation yourself. Think about what you need to do next. If your relationship is that bad, things are not getting better, what decisions do you need to make as an individual to make your life better?
And if that person is worth it, if that person really is worth it and you want them in your life, you need to speak to them. Communication is the key, regardless of who it is. It could be your best friend, your sibling, your parent, your spouse, your children. We have toxic relationships with people, and it could be anybody. So talk to them. See if they can change. See if you can change, because you are all part of it. There's a reason why they are being triggered to be toxic. It could be because of some kind of behavior in you that's triggering them. So work together, communicate. With that said, love each other, love yourselves,
Respect one another.
and stay bonded.
Once again, I'm Jesse.
I'm Hawa.
Together we are
Bonded for life.
over and out, people.